welcome to the House of Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday wherever you guys are at. Those that have been in here since day one, y'all know the routine. Those new in here, I'm going to teach you real quick. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. We are joined by Spicy Raider Girl of For Life, our Raider story on YouTube. Welcome. How are you?
All right. I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me. Thanks for being on. Thanks for watching, everyone out there. What's good? I see a lot of people in the chat. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are.
So this has been something that has been a topic of conversation for probably since the start of the offseason. We all know that our new head coach is Antonio Pierce. And look, he's been doing his own little Raider tour, I guess is the best way to put it. He's been interviewed by various different podcasters, platforms, including one of his players in Mad Max. Now, recently, a couple of days ago, former Raiders employee Michael Lombardi, the father of recently fired offensive coordinator Mick Lombardi, was on the GM Shuffle podcast and had some choice words for Antonio Pierce. And I quote, "Can he just shut up? Why won't somebody in the Raiders tell him to shut up? The Raider way isn't a word. It's about this prototype of the player we want at this position. This is a prototype of a player we want at that position. That's the Raider way." What's so comical is he's talking about it because he's from Compton. He thinks he knows the Raider way. What a joke. Spicy, I want to hear your thoughts on this first before I go in on it.
Yeah, it's a little shocking. I think, listen, making him from Compton, is that going to make him the best NFL football coach? No. But I mean, these are throwaway comments. I mean, that's one part of a very larger story, right? What's going to make him a good Raiders football coach in particular is that he has the locker room, he has the respect of his players, and they want to play for him. So for someone to come out with comments like that, obviously he has some sort of issue. I mean, let the man do his job. I shut up. I don't. Why shut up? I mean, because he doesn't like his opinions. I guess I'm not understanding the full context of the quote, except for it just sounds like a lot of hating. But I mean, the report card came out from the NFLPA recently of coaches. McDaniels was at the very bottom of the list. Clearly, the players didn't have any respect for him. They didn't want to play for him. So if we have a coach that the Raiders players want to play for, I think that's a great asset. That's not something I think that a lot of coaches can put on their resume. And is Antonio Pierce going to be, the solve this in one season kind of guy? No, it's going to take multiple seasons. So I think we have to give it time as well. But I mean, maybe you can give more context to the statement if you know. I don't know.
The funny thing is, Michael Lombardi was an employee of the Raiders years ago, and he was fired as well. So it's like, cool, like father, like son. Like Antonio Pierce didn't have anything to do with his son, Mick Lombardi, being fired. And now you feel some type of way. There's a new energy in that locker room. There's a new type of energy in the headquarters in Henderson. Like, I'm not understanding why this dude feels the need to just try to bash somebody. Yes, Antonio Pierce is getting his first shot as a full-time head coach. His life after football, he went into coaching. He coached at Cal Poly. He coached at Arizona State. He got this title. Well, he got the position as a linebackers coach for us when Ziegler and McDaniels came in. It's clear as day. He's highly respected amongst players that he's coached. He's highly respected amongst former teammates while he was in the NFL playing for both the then Redskins and the New York Giants. He was even a captain. He was a defensive captain for the New York Football Giants. Like, he's touted, he's respected. I don't get why this dude is coming out with all this stuff. Like, sour grapes, I guess you can call it. A little bitterness because his son's not there, but AP had nothing to do with Mick Lombardi being fired. Let him do what he does. Like, I don't feel when it comes to Antonio Pierce that this is an act, this is a facade. This is who he is.
Yeah.
And for anybody, not just him, because I've seen other things here and there where people are already like, oh, he's not a head coach and this, that, and the third. Like, If he wasn't, Mark Davis wouldn't have given him this opportunity. If he wasn't, Mark Davis wouldn't have given him the interim tag when McDaniels and Ziegler were fired. He could have gave the interim position to Patrick Brown. Could have gave it to Bob Ryan. He could have gave it to any of these guys. He
Yeah.
gave this opportunity to Antonio Pierce, and we see what was going on from day one when they made him the interim head coach. The players were showing up to the facilities a hell of a lot happier. He is definitely clear as day, a leader among men. And I think with the right guys that they just brought in, this revamped coaching staff, now it's going to come down to 12 days from now, the start of the new league year and free agency, and see what this team's going to do. And then the NFL draft. I do have the combine up in front of me right now. They're showing the running back, so I'm not too overly concerned about that. But I think right now the pieces are falling in place, and he brought in a lot of guys with a lot of coaching experience. Two guys in Marvin Lewis and Joe Philbin that have years of head coaching experience. A lot of these other guys that they've brought in have familiarity with one another from different stages of their careers as coaches as well. So I think it all makes sense. But all this hate, all this negativity, all this outside noise, and the season hasn't even started yet. This shit's got to stop. Point blank period. The end has got to stop.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to sum it up, that this person just sounds like a hater, and maybe he should be the one to shut up.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe we don't even give it any more life or discussion. Not that we can't discuss it, but I mean, it sounds like there isn't any reasonable context to go along with just an ignorant statement for someone who's clearly unhappy with maybe himself or what happened with him and his family, and now he's trying to make Antonio Pierce look like the bad guy. Or maybe he's jealous. Maybe he wanted to represent Compton and be Allen Raiders.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. Oh my gosh. Done. I'm not opening that can of worms. I'm getting canceled today. Oh my god. Salute to everybody in the chat. We are doing a simulcast. We're on Radio Nation News Today and For Life, our Raider story. For those that are over on my channel, make sure to subscribe, show your support for Spicy, her and her crew over there, Mother Moon, Omar, everybody over there. Good content, and they're just continuing to grow as well. So make sure to show your support for them as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me see if I'm missing anybody. Shout out to my guy, the dopest name in the nation, Johnny Kicknuts. What's good, my guy? Matt Marinovich, what's good, man? Let's see. Who's going to be quarterback one for the Raiders week 1 next year? I don't want to give anything. Well, not that I know, but I don't want to say any names yet. I'm actually waiting, anticipating like a little kid right now to see the quarterbacks, at least the quarterbacks that are there today, and see what they do at the combine. But we've talked about Jaden Daniels. We went into a lot about the combine between day 1 and day 2 yesterday. We talked about this whole red flags of Caleb Williams with what his little group and his father and him are trying to do. They are trying to really have their hands in everything. They want part ownership of the team, which is not allowed. Um, they're trying to change things as it pertains to a first round contract, a first round salary, which no. They're trying to get their hands in all the wrong things right now and not really focus on what the task at hand should be, and that's being drafted and getting into the NFL. He was interviewed by Tom Pelissero yesterday and just came off incredibly arrogant. He's the 1% of the 1%. He presumably thinks he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. But a lot of the things that we talked about yesterday, it's just like definitely not a guy that I want in the silver and black. Jaden Daniels right now, they have him as a top prospect, whether it being better than Drake May or even the third best quarterback in this class. We're going to have to do anything and everything we can. We're going to have to move heaven and earth to move up in this draft if we want Jaden Daniels. We know the relationship with Antonio Pierce, and we know that Jaden was at that last game against the Broncos. I would love to have Jaden Daniels here. If it's not Jaden Daniels, I would love it for it to be Bo Nix. If not Bo Nix, then probably JJ McCarthy. But I don't know how you feel about this because I know like the combine and stuff is not a big deal for some people. To them, it's just the underwear Olympics. But where do you see us going? Who do you think is going to be the quarterback of the future for us? So do you think Aiden O'Connell is that guy for however long?
Yeah, well, answer that. You're talking to me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I thought maybe you had someone on the line. I was going to say if you want to put up the call-in number, someone's calling my hotline right now, so I'm not the one taking calls. If you have that one stored in your phone, I think he's going to put in the caller hotline. But I mean, I think Aiden O'Connell is probably not the one. But I wouldn't just dismiss him. I would give him a chance to fight for his position. But some of these younger guys that are coming into the draft, Caleb's one of them. He doesn't think he needs an agent. He wants to own part of the team. I mean, to me, these are kind of red flags. I mean, do you want somebody like that intermixing with the team that the Raiders have now, which they seem like they have a really solid like bond? That just seems disruptive. So I kind of changed my mind a little bit, and maybe a veteran quarterback is a good bridge, depending on what that veteran quarterback would cost. Do the Raiders still need to draft one? I think absolutely, but you look at somebody like Love. He took a few years to mold, and now he seemingly looks like he could be great, but it didn't happen right away.
Yeah.
So maybe a veteran is a good. And I didn't say this at first because I was thinking, geez, I really don't want Russell or Cousins or any of these things, but maybe that is a good option, but at the right price.
Okay. Guys, we're gonna open it up for you because we're not doing a very long show, and we wanted to touch on this situation as it pertained to Michael Lombardi talking his garbage. And realistically, there's only one way to just put that to bed, at least for me, anyways. Michael Lombardi,
Shut up, bitch.
already. I could care less. You're not a part of this organization.
Pretty much.
You were fired by us. Your son was fired by us. Oh, well, you won't be missed. Guys, Vault line 347-471-0361. Call in, sound off on the topics. If you guys are watching Combine or if you've watched it within the last 2 days, let me know your guys' thoughts and any players that have grabbed your attention, guys that you think that we should be keeping a close eye on. And again, 12 days away from the start of the new league year, you're going to see a lot of moving and shaking. And today is what, the second? 3 more days, and we have the deadline for the franchise tag period. We know the top running backs are not going to be tagged, not at $14.1 million. A lot of these guys are going to be testing the free agent market. Real curious to see how this turns out in the coming week and a half, 2 weeks. But guys, there it is again on the screen, 347-471-0361. Call on in, sound off. Do not disturb is off, so we should be good to go for anybody that wants to call in. Let me get back to the chat. Not a popular opinion. Shout out to Raider Squid, my guy.
Hey, what's up, Squid?
Not a popular opinion. I want Aiden to be our QB1. Would mean he earned it and fought for it. Just needs to be a lot more mobile. So you know what? I think if we do go the route of drafting quarterback, at least within the first or second round, obviously there's going to be a quarterback competition. So we got our first caller though. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Chris from Arizona.
What's going on, man? Sound
Chris.
Yeah, I was thinking about what do you guys think about trading Devontae to the Jets for the 10th and the 13th overall and trading up both those picks to get to number 3?
Not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening.
I don't even think it's a discussion. I don't even think it's up for discussion, to be honest.
Yeah, Telesco made it perfectly clear at the presser on Tuesday. Devontae Adams is not going anywhere.
No.
We've messed around with mock drafts. For those that have been watching, we've been doing a mock draft, maybe 3, almost every single live recently, and different scenarios. And the one scenario that we consistently do is trading up with New England, and we never have to shop a player. Normally, it's a first, a third, next year's first, second, because we can't put in 2026 for whatever strange reason. But that move always seems to work, and we end up with Jaden Daniels 10 times out of 10 when we trade up in the third. So, but Devontae is not going anywhere. He will be with the Raiders for the next 3 years that he has on his contract. And I've talked about this. I've called in ESPN radio about this to tell them to kill that noise. They have no offensive line at all. And if you don't have an offensive line, who's going to be there to protect Aaron Rodgers? He's not going to the Jets. He's not reuniting with his old
No.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it was just a thought. You know what I mean? Maybe getting their 10th and maybe a third, and even using the third to try to get Ayuk from San Francisco would be nice also to be a replacement.
Ayuk is another one that is going to be a guy that's going to be looking for a big money contract soon. He's going into the final year of his contract as it stands this season, and looking at the market value, he's going to be looking at a ballpark of like a 4-year, $95 to $100 million contract, and it's like the cap space that we have now, we can fill the necessary holes. We have an elite of the elites in Devontae Adams. We have Jacoby Myers for another year. We have Trey Tucker, who's on a rookie contract. I don't see a reason why we need to change anything as it pertains to the offensive weapons. What we really need to do is try to lock back in Josh Jacobs and rebuild that offensive line and figure out who our quarterback of the future is going to be.
Very true. All right, thanks. I just thought it was just an idea, throw it out there.
Absolutely. Appreciate the call.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, I think that narrative of Devontae Adams going anywhere, first of all, I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I think it's either, I don't know if people believe in it or if it's just a bunch of clickbait and then trying to get people believe in it. But I don't think there are any legs there whatsoever.
The crazy thing is like this seems to be the ongoing thing, at least when it comes to ESPN year in, year out, as it pertains to us. Like they always try to create some type of mass hysteria amongst the nation, whether it being Derek Carr is going to end up going to the Jets or Derek Carr is going to the Steelers. Like, no, he's not. Like, I made it perfectly clear. It's pretty funny because they were going on the kick last year after the Pro Bowl. Oh, he's coming to the Jets. No, he's not. Like, I called in and I'm like, no, he's not. He's going to go to the Saints, whether he's being released or flat out traded. He's going to the Saints. How do you know this? I guarantee you he's going to the Saints. And where did he go? This whole thing with Devontae Adams, just because, oh, well, he played with Aaron Rodgers and he's good friends now with Garrett Wilson.
He also left Aaron Rodgers, okay? Like, we're forgetting that. We're forgetting that little tidbit. He also left him.
Yeah, he changed his, Garrett Wilson changed his number for Tay. Like, cool. He's still not coming to the Jets.
You want to put the number back up? See, anyone else wants to weigh in on the Antonio and let's circle back if you don't mind. Let's talk about Antonio Pierce a little bit more, because besides that the hater saying whatever he wants to say, I think there is a conversation there about how he will if he will be successful or not. To our point, are we all in with him, or is it all hype? I'm definitely all in, but yeah, there's a lot of hype behind it. There definitely is. There's going to be a lot of expectation, and I think that we just need to manage expectations. I don't think, like I said earlier, he's not going to come in and fix this team in 1.5 seasons. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some building and some developing of players. So he needs his time, 2 years minimum, I think, maybe 3 years, and then we'll maybe start to see a little bit of progress. I mean,
we got another one.
Another one.
Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Chris from California City. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Chris?
Okay, I just want to make a quick judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
I think AT and most Raider fans are tired of being the leg at the NFL.
Say it.
You want to call it?
Say it again. I couldn't hear you.
I got to. I've been like a doorman. That's what I'm looking for. A doormat.
You think
okay.
Antonio Pierce is being tired of being a doormat? Is that what you're saying?
Most Raider fans. I've been Raider fan since '77. I'm tired of looking at Raiders getting stepped.
Oh, so you're looking at us as being the doormat in the league, and you feel like Antonio Pierce's energy, his vibes is pretty much he's trying to change that narrative and pretty much make it be known who exactly it is the Raiders are again, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I remember a time when teams be scared to play the Raiders. Scared, oh God, we got to play the Raiders this weekend.
Yeah.
Now about to out the Raiders, that's a win.
I'm here for it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm loving the energy, and it's like I went through that when I was in high school. The first school that I played for, we were a team that was always a feared team. We go against some of these teams, and it's like, oh shit, here comes the red and white. Yeah, we're about to get smacked. Like, and we brought that fear to any of our opponents, and I think that's what Antonio Pierce is trying to do as well. Like, and he's got the guys behind him for it. Like, look at Max.
Mm-hmm.
Max, we know where he was drafted and we know what he is and what he's capable of. Like, my opinion, and this isn't just because I'm a Raider fan, this isn't because the Raiders are my life, but Max is hands down the best edge rusher in the NFL. And it's me, it's like just because he's a Raider, he's not getting the looks or the respect that he truly should be getting right now.
No, of course, that's the way. But you know what? It's always been like that through Raider history. Never got respect. We went to multiple championships, multiple division wins, never got the respect.
And I think that's kind of, not the lack of respect, I think is fuel for him. And I think having maybe Antonio Pierce and Mad Max both are getting a chip on their shoulder. And to your point, caller, don't want to be treated like, second class citizens or I forgot the terminology used, the doormat. Thank you. And they're gonna, and that's fuel for them. And you can kind of see it in their eyes. They're trying to say, hey, if you're not gonna respect us, we're gonna sit here and make you respect us one way or the other. If we're gonna do it by, bringing back the quote unquote Raider way and showing you on the field. I mean, I like I said, I'm here for it.
I hear a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah, I get you.
I think you have me. I think you have us playing, caller.
Okay. Boy, nice talking to you. Spicy, nice talking to you. Hammer, always good to talk to you.
Take care, man.
Likewise. Thanks for calling.
Shout out to my guy, David Zahn in the building. Salute.
Someone keeps calling my hotline.
Trying, my guy, trying. You know what it is. I'm still sitting here watching the combine, but it's a running back, so I'm not overly concerned right now about how this goes. So once the quarterbacks start their workouts, then there's a good chance that we may end up doing another live. We shall see. But let's go back to this in regards to this whole thing with Antonio Pierce and everything else. Look, we have a competent front office. Something that we haven't had in a very, 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 very long time. Ziegler pretty much was listening to his dictator, that was Josh McDaniels. And clear as day, this is why we don't have a quarterback now. Like, we could have had CJ Stroud last year. And Ziegler wanted him. McDaniel said no. And look, both of them are out the door.
And the quarterback they decided to keep soon. Very soon anyway.
So, like, I understand where people are going with this, but at the same time, like, I feel like this is definitely a revamped front office, a completely revamped offensive side of the ball. Defensively, it wasn't many changes. And actually, yesterday, I brought this up, and we'll go back to that after we take Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm calling into the show.
Yeah, you're on. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Houston Raider Steve from Houston. I just want to say that Antonio Pierce, I put on some shoulder pads and played left tackle for him because the best coach that we've had since John Van and Tom Flores. They said that everybody from Marcus Allen and people like that and Max Crosby, we all think that he makes you want to run through a wall for the guy. You know, he's a Raider, born a Raider, grew up in Compton. You couldn't ask for a better coach. He loves being a coach. He motivates people. He motivates us. He gives us hope. We didn't get that with McNuggets as our coach and everything. And I think that we can win at least 12 games this year. What say you?
I want to see what we do come the start of this new league year and free agency and the type of signings that they make. I want to see where we go with our first pick in this upcoming draft. And then I can sit there and start to evaluate a little bit more. But I always tell people this when it comes to when it comes to making any type of season predictions, I don't do it until at least after week 3, week 4 of the regular season, because that's when I actually see the full 53-man roster. We know in the preseason a lot of our starters are not playing. I can't do an assessment off of the preseason. So once we get through the first 3, maybe 4 weeks of the season, I can sit there and tell you guys exactly what I think and what my overall prediction is going to be for the upcoming season.
I have one last question. Do we go for Justin Fields or do we go for rookie quarterback? I don't think we're going to get Daniels. I think to go out and get Williams, the quarterback, we have to give up 3 number ones, and that's too costly. I think that we'd have to give up probably 2 to get Daniels. And then I guess that Mays out of North Carolina is supposed to be pretty good. What do you think? Go with the
if we were to go for one of these quarterbacks, yeah, we're going to obviously have to trade probably the next 3 first rounders, and pretty much banking that it's going to be worth it. Look, if this is where they feel that they can make the right move for our quarterback of the future, a quarterback that we're going to have here for 10 plus years, then I'll take the risk. But again, we still have to build the trenches between the offensive line and defensive line as well. But obviously, we have to get the quarterback of the future. We know what the wave of the new wave and the upward trend of the top performing quarterbacks are. They're mobile, they're dual threats. We need something like that, and we haven't had one like that in a very, very long time.
Thank you very much. You win and lose games in the trenches, right, Angela?
Say that again?
We win and lose games in the trenches. That's where you win games.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Great show as always, and keep up the great work. I won't be watching your shows, and some of the best of Mama Moon and the crew out there. You're doing a great job, both of you.
All right, will do. Thanks for calling. Can I comment on Von Brown? He says I can't see it at the moment. It said something along the lines of, do we give AP 3 years, or do we make him do it now, or he's fired? I can't see the entire comment at the moment, but
it's on the screen.
I think you've got to give him the time. You can't expect any coach really to come in, build their vision and their team, and give them a year and then fire them. The consistency needs to be there, and I think they need to give AP his time.
Absolutely. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? We're calling from Stockton, California.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Hey, I'm curious.
Good thing we're rapping soon.
Go ahead.
I want to know your thoughts on the comments Michael Lombardi made about our coach AP. I mean, I'm feeling like fuck Michael Lombardi. What does he really know about the Raider way?
This is the best. This is the best way to put it.
Spreadsheet.
This is the best way to put it, especially for the simple fact that he was a Raider ages ago and he got fired, and now his son got fired. Michael Lombardi, and I said this a little bit earlier.
Shut up, bitch.
We don't care.
Straight up. He's salty as fuck.
We're not concerned about the outside noise. We're only concerned of our facility and Allegiant Stadium. We don't care about that outside noise.
That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like we building. I'm feeling like the Raider way is.
You gotta shut that.
Yeah. And shit, being a Raider is doing what you want to do when you want to do it. Like AP says, fuck it, we gonna smoke our shit, talk our shit, and let's go out there and get some W's.
That's a fact.
Straight up. All right, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. Oh man, damn! It's going. This is Raider News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, what's good? It's Severe from LA.
Yo, what's up, my guy?
Yo, what's good? What's good, man?
Sound off, bro.
Hey, what's going on?
Yo, hey, what's up? What's up, Spicy? Yo, so first off, we need to stop this Justin Fields talk. Dude ain't no good. I mean, you can look at the film. He's not a good quarterback. He's 10-28 as a starter. I think he has like 1 300-yard game in his entire career. You know, we keep blaming offensive coordinators. He's going through offensive coordinators like I go through socks. Dude, he's just not good. He's not good. Give up on that train. And in terms of Antonio Pierce, man, I'm a guy who early I was not on Antonio Pierce as a head coach. I think after week 2, I was saying, I was talking about Ben Johnson. Shortly after that, I was talking about Bobby Slowick. And then, of course, Justin McDaniels got fired. We brought on AP. And the thing I love about AP is that he's hired for his weaknesses, right? So that's very intelligent move. Like, he's not experienced head coach, so he brings in a guy like Marvin Lewis as his assistant head coach. He's not an offensive guy, so he brings in several veteran guys on offense. Bringing a guy like Luke Getsy, who's past experience as an offensive coordinator and as a quarterback coach. A guy, Joe Philbin from the Dolphins, another guy, offensive guy who has past experience as a head coach. I just think this move is going to work. We just have to give it some time. There's going to be some growing pains. He's not the most guy as a head coach, but I think if we give him some time, it will be successful. I know y'all trying to get your shit off. People keep calling you, so I'm going to let y'all go.
It's all good. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Severe.
Sure.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, what do you think about the Justin Fields narrative? I mean, for me, it's like when you look at the draft, it's such a crapshoot. You never know if a player is going to be successful or not, right?
Mhm.
Look what happened again. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, two good examples of who could have predicted such opposite ends of success or lack thereof, right? So if Justin Fields is already kind of saying, hey, they drafted me, NFL, I'm showing you who I am and what I can do, he's kind of already had his audition. So why, knowing what he can produce and the type of player he is, to me, it's like, why go after that? What are your thoughts on that?
It's funny that you bring that up because I spoke about this on a show not too long ago as it pertained to Justin Fields potentially reuniting with Luke Getsy. And my thing is, you have two of these quarterbacks that are coming into the league in Michael Penix and Bo Nix that, crazy enough, Justin Fields is a year older than both of them. And it's like, look, Justin Fields is already proven. Regardless of what the numbers are, we know what he's capable of at the next level. And when Justin Fields came into the league, I kind of had my jokes about him because I'll never forget, he gets drafted and he says that, in his opinion, the league is not that fast. Preseason got lit up and was like, there's your wake-up call. Welcome to the league. I think with the right his issues, at least the last 2 years in Chicago, was he had a very poor offensive line. And that's why the passing game wasn't that great. Their rushing, in regards to their rankings in rushing, were like top 2 for 2 straight years. And it's because that offensive line couldn't pass block if their life depended on it, and they relied on the legs of not just their running backs, but on the legs of Justin Fields as well. Now, Justin Fields was interviewed by the St. Brown brothers on their podcast about a week ago saying that he doesn't want to get traded. And we obviously know it's a business at the end of the day, and it's not necessarily up to him. Do I feel that he's a guy that we could get? If we were in that position where we have the thought process that we're not going to trade up, or the quarterback that we do want isn't going to be there, then maybe there's a chance that Telesco may try to take that flyer, but I think that they know what needs to be done. I think they need to really try to do anything and everything to move up within that top 3 to get that quarterback of the future. Let me see. Am I missing anyone? Salute to Jack Kenna. Fields needs to continue to grow. See, am I missing anything here? How long does it take to grow in the NFL? I feel like you got it or you don't. That's very, very debatable.
I mean, I feel like most of the successful quarterbacks took years to develop. Most of the top quarterbacks, Peyton Manning,
he was different.
Brady. I mean, like,
he was different.
But their list can go on and on in terms of being successful right away or not, though. I think that's what the comment is, right?
Yeah. But it's tough to say. Like, again, it's gonna go by what you have around you. Like, your coaching staff play a huge role in that as well, and as well as these guys are supposed to be protecting you on that line as well. Like, Mahomes was an instant. Mahomes was drafted 10th overall, and he learned a little bit. Burrow learned behind Andy Dalton, if I remember correctly. Some of these quarterbacks have had the time to learn behind veteran quarterbacks. Look at Jordan Love,
right,
behind Aaron Rodgers for several years. Aaron Rodgers was behind Brett Favre for several years. Like, there is a little somewhat of a formula to it if done the correct way. Sometimes you have to be thrown to the wolves and see what you can do. CJ Stroud definitely had a phenomenal year in his rookie campaign, and I think that he's only going to get better as as he continues to grow throughout his career. Like what that team did to get into the playoffs and be as successful as they were, to have the cap space that they have right now, and some of the players they have mentioned in free agency, Saquon Barkley, Mike Evans, Houston could be a problem for years to come if that front office does the right things as well. Solo, what's good?
I think DC Raiders says it pretty perfectly right there, and it kind of echoes what you're saying. It's just not the QB; it's the experience they learn from their mentors that makes them great. And not only that, like the team that they're placed in. You look at somebody like Mahomes. I mean, with Andy Reid and what he's done in Kansas City consistently for years. I mean, he stepped into a consistently well-run organization. Whether we'd like to admit that or not, as Raiders fans,
Rich, there's another good one, and we broke down like a list at least for top 10 quarterbacks that we have pretty much seen in our lifetime, and I actually had the two of them on that list as well. So there you go. Herbert was instant. He was also behind Tyrod Taylor until the Chargers medical staff messed up and punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung. That's something that I will never forget.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Franchise Sports Media in the building. Fields' issues also in part are he is a one read and takeoff QB, also hasn't been accountable for his play at times. Franchise, when you get a chance, do me a favor and shoot me a message on IG. Definitely want to chop it up with you when we wrap this up today. Mahomes had a year behind Alex. Yeah, we said that. Yeah, I didn't say it, D. I didn't say it.
Did either one of us say that? Who said that?
Somebody in the chat had to have said it wasn't.
In the chat.
Brady behind Bledsoe. Yep. People be dogging these older QBs, but Plunkett didn't come into his until he was more seasoned. It takes time. But some of these quarterbacks, especially like the first rounders, and I always say this, I've said this for a very long time, that when it comes to the first round of the draft and drafting a quarterback, it really is a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get. I've talked about USC. Right. People look at me sideways. Yeah, I'm not from the West Coast, but I've watched college football. And for 20 years, you can give me two quarterbacks at a UFC that were somewhat successful, but the rest of them weren't. Carson Palmer, Mark Sanchez took the Jets to 2 back-to-back AFC championship games. Matt Leinart, he didn't do shit. Sam Darnold didn't do shit. And these are all different head coaches as well, mind you. So I don't know what it is out there, but USC quarterback, and this is another reason why I'm like, there are red flags all over Caleb Williams, like with his antics, but also being a product of USC. So it is what it is.
And I'm hating on USC.
Come on, I'm a Texas fan.
I'm just kidding. I think there are red flags with Caleb as well, but not because he's from USC.
Matt Castle was solid and never played it down for USC. God. Matt Taylor were franchise quarterbacks, but they had to wait. But in reality, they could have started immediately. Agree with you, Hammer, and I'm a USC fan. Thank you, Chris. See, somebody's in my corner. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, it's not Marcus Allen.
Let's see. Where the hell is it? I'm so not used to using this, guys, because you guys know I'm always on OBS. But if anybody else wants to call in, we'll take one more call. Like I said, we weren't planning on doing this very long. And I think the running backs might have just wrapped up. So I think next up is going to be, the receivers. But I think this one goes on like all day today. But if anybody else wants to call in and sound off on today's topics, Vault line 347-471-0361. Call in, sound off. Appreciate everybody that's been in here so far. If you haven't already on either one of these channels, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys want to become a member of my channel, the link is pinned to the top. Best way to keep the lights on and show your support here at Raider Nation News today. And as always, we're back to doing our monthly giveaways at the end of every month. If you're a member, doesn't matter what tier, your name is thrown in the wheel and if it falls on you, you can get some gift cards, some Raider Nation News Today merch, maybe even a bottle of Woodson whiskey. So make sure to join the membership today. Let's see where we are at. T. Severe already called. Walt, did you leave and just come back? It's okay to hate on USC as Notre Dame fan. Big Mo was good, man. Get the Fields out of here. All right, our last call, and it's actually from Texas.
Uh-oh.
Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This OGC, Hammer.
What's up, my guy? How are you?
Hey.
Hello there, young lady. I'm sorry.
Hi.
I woke up. I was dozing. I woke up. And
We putting you to sleep?
yeah, I was dozing. I just got through 3 weeks over double bypass.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
How are you feeling?
I'm doing good right now.
Good.
But Hammer,
Good.
what's your name, young lady? Because I didn't even catch that.
Spicy.
Say that again, please.
Spicy.
Hold on. Let me turn the TV down.
I'm going to have
We get here.
I need to turn
Spicy, like caliente.
I need to turn that into an audio clip.
No.
He got me killed. Now, one more time, please.
I said spicy, like caliente.
Oh, spicy.
Yes.
Love it. Because you're a Raider, and I love you too. First time, but you're a Raider.
He's funny.
I've been down and out so long, I haven't had one chance to tell you. We gave up 2 seasons to that knucklehead. I told you when he first got hired what was going to happen.
We were not going to be winning, and he was going to be fired.
I told you when he first got hired. Dumbass. Straight up. What's the topic? I mean, I'm literally. What's the topic?
So we talked about Michael Lombardi and the comments that he made as it pertained to AP.
I was meant to call in. Another dumbass. That's all I got to say. A dumbass.
There you go.
I think that's a good wrap on the show.
That whole circle ain't nothing but dumbasses.
Oh my gosh.
OG, we appreciate you, man. And I hope speedy recovery, but definitely hope to hear from you this coming week. We will be breaking down.
You up later.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta come subscribe to my channel, homie. You're funny.
We're gonna break down the combine and everything. So
now listen, before you hang up, 50-year fan. Okay. Matter of fact, 50. When I turned 10, and I'm 64 now. 54.
Okay.
Fan. So, and I know the history of the Raiders. Went to the first 2 Super Bowls. So yes, I am a Raider.
Nice.
Born and raised. Y'all have a blessed day.
Take care.
Thank you. Likewise.
Okay.
Well, Hammer, I don't know about you, but I think that was a good way to wrap the show.
Absolutely.
What do you think about Lombardi's comments? Dumbass. Summed up well. Thank you, caller.
Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to quit when you said you have to make that an audio clip. Spicy. Yo, salute to every what could
yes, please do. For Life on Raiders, someone's asking. For Life on Raiders story is my channel. Please head over there and subscribe.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll throw the link in there for you guys. Yo,
thank you.
Weak right now. That just
yeah, nothing can top that call. I'm glad we actually were gonna even go shorter than this. I'm glad we went a little over just to wrap with that because that summed it up well.
Hold on. All right, guys. The link is in the chat. For those that are over on Raider Nation News Today, there's the link right there. Make sure to subscribe. Show your support, guys. That was, oh my god. This was actually a really, really good show too. So I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me.
we ended up getting into a lot more than I actually thought as well. And like I said, guys, the combine is on right now. The quarterbacks and receivers are going to be doing their on the field workouts momentarily. If I don't jump back on live with it, we're going to do a recap. I think I have a couple of shows this coming week that I'm actually supposed to be a guest on for I think one or two shows. But before I end this, because this is the one thing I wanted to talk about, um, yesterday we talked about this, how the 49ers were poaching from the Raiders. Now, the 49ers did interview our recently hired safeties coach, Gerald Alexander, but within the last few hours, news broke that the San Francisco 49ers promoted Nick Sorensen to their defensive coordinator position. He replaces Steve Wilkes, who was fired after the Super Bowl 58 loss to the Chiefs, and they hired Braden Staley as their new assistant head coach. So there it is. I've been meaning to bring that up for probably like the last half hour or so. But yeah, Gerald Alexander is not going anywhere. He is our safeties coach. We're good. Spicy, thank you again for being a guest. Appreciate everybody in the chat on your way out. If you haven't already, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house at Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Raider Nation news today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID is back and on the rise. Remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. And of course,
Hi, everyone.
all my New York